The one thing that no one taught me when I got started in real estate. Hey guys, Mike Ferrante here, and it's time again for Tuesday training. And hopefully that hook got your attention because seriously, when people ask me, Mike, what would you do differently? What's the one thing you would change if you could go back and do it over again? I'm going to share it with you today. And here to drive the point home, I have a very special guest. Hang tight for that. If you want to get a hold of me or someone on my team for real estate needs anywhere in Ohio and literally anywhere in the world, yes, I have that kind of reach. You can go to 21mike.com, click that button at the top and I'll get back to you. Say, schedule an appointment with me or someone on the team. Now, back to the opener. Mike, what's the one thing you would change? I'm going to have Hesh deliver it because Hesh Saghafi is with us here for Tuesday training, Liberty Home Mortgage. Hesh, man, thank you for being here.
I sincerely appreciate it, Mike. Like I always say, you're always too kind to me. I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity.
I got to tell you, every time we have a conversation, I leave feeling smarter. I leave feeling motivated. And, I think that's something that, when you teach your CE classes, which I want to make sure we mention that, by the way, it's something that it just exudes from you, this personality, this energy. Where's that come from, man?
Well, I try to follow your lead. So you do this with me also. So I try to keep up with you if I can. So
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So real quick, Liberty Home Mortgage, I was just saying we just sent you a buyer, and one of the reasons I do that is because I feel like you have a diverse line of products that you're there to help. So real quick, before we get started with the one thing, tell us how we get a hold of you in Liberty Home Mortgage.
So the easiest way for me is my cell phone's 216-780-1103. That's my cell phone. Liberty Home Mortgage, we're a national lender. We lend in 45 states. We pretty much have all the product line. I'm doing a doctor loan right now in Pennsylvania for a surgeon. That's zero down, no PMI. We have all the products.
Yep.
Everybody does. We also do good credit, bad credit, whatever you want to say. So we're pretty versatile.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, Hesh, the one thing where agents and frankly, loan officers, pretty much anyone in a real estate related business should start, and they don't, it is,
Generating business.
and specifically from
Their
your,
sphere,
your
their
sphere,
sphere of
right?
influence, hands down, far and away, Mike. I have a saying that I haven't done many things in my life, but I coined this saying, so I'll take credit for this one. It's if it's free, it ain't easy, and if it's easy, it ain't free. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're a real estate agent, watch me. But to tell you the truth, Mike, it's any salesman. If you're selling tennis shoes, you could buy leads. You can go online and buy leads from people who went online looking for tennis shoes. It doesn't matter. But that's going to cost you money. So what people don't realize, and I'll circle back to real estate, is go to Zillow, because Zillow, of course, is probably the largest lead aggregator in our industry by a lifetime, right? Zillow, LendingTree, Realtor.com, Homes.com is working on trying to take some of that market share. But let's just talk Zillow. You can call Zillow, anybody can that's a real estate agent or a loan officer, and they could buy leads, and you could buy leads today. And the truth of the matter is, call Zillow. You could buy 1,000 of their leads today if you want. That'll probably cost you. I know in the lending world, those leads cost me about $53 a lead. So if I bought 1,000 of those today, that would cost about $53,000. So I could have 1,000 loan applications today for $53,000. The problem, because so that's easy. I just make one phone call, I give them my credit card and pop it, and here comes 1,000 leads. That's easy. It's not free though. You start running into other problems where I've got to call them 800 times over and I can't get a hold of them, and the conversion rate starts falling off, and I can't handle 1,000 leads. I'm one loan officer, even my company, and one day that'd be too many for my company, whatever it is. The reason your sphere of influence is where the gold lies, and it's so cliche, but it's the truth, is it's your sphere of influence. These people know you. I can call my old wrestling coach John Smith on the phone right now, and he will pick. Well, I can't say he'll pick up for sure. He's probably in the farm field right now. He retired, so he's farming now. But but I can call him on the phone. He knows me. When he sees my name, he'll pick up the phone. He's got a vast network of people. As a matter of fact, the wrestling golf outing is in August, and he just texted me the other day to make sure I'm there. But he forgot that I hate golf and I'm not going to go. But that's a great place for me to go and network.
Yeah.
And it's easy. I know these people. I like being around them. We wrestle. We talk this. I could talk to them all day long. That's my sphere of influence.
Right.
Now that's free. It doesn't cost me a dollar, but it's, out of 100 people in my sphere, not all of them are buying right now. So I've got to work it more. So that's where the gold lies. It's in your sphere of influence in your
Yeah,
database.
I want to do some math for some people real quick because then we'll get into how to work your sphere because we can all agree. Number one, the highest percentage of business for real estate agents, for loan officers, the highest percentage comes from sphere of influence. Okay, so here's the math. Let's just say you have 100 people in your sphere, 100 people who say, I like Hesh, I like Mike, I like Scott, whoever it is, I like you. And if I were to transact, if I were to get a loan, if I were to buy or sell a house, I would use you. 100 people. But those people only move every 10 years, just for round numbers. If that's true, you have 100 people, you should have 10 transactions a year from your sphere. Now, the reality is that most agents are saying, well, why am I not getting 10 transactions? Oh, Mike, I don't know 100 people. Well, shame on you. I think you do. You're just not talking to them. Fine, cut it in half. Say it's 50 people. That's 5 per year. And here's the other thing. If you're communicating with your sphere, they also should be good for one referral every 10 years. That's not a big ask, right? One referral every 10. So double it. So if it's 100 people, that's 20 transactions. If it's 50 people, that's 10 transactions per year. That's simple math. Now, Hesh, here's the thing. I get agents that I coach and they say, but Mike, and I'm going to insert your name, but Hesh, I feel funny calling people I know. Let's start with that. How do you handle that objection?
Easy. It's You have to approach with what I call a servant mentality. Okay. If I call my buddy Pat right now, who actually just called him, but he didn't pick up, he just had a defibrillator put in. As a matter of fact, we wrestled on the couch together. So he's had surgery. So I was checking in on him. Um, if I called him right now, I'm not calling him to see if he wants to refinance his house. I'm calling to legitimately and genuinely check in on him because on Wednesday of last week, he had a defibrillator put in, and I've been checking in on him every single day. I'm sincerely checking in on his health. Now, of course, when we spoke last week, he was asking me about business. How's business going? So I was explaining, well, rates are up and the stuff in the Middle East caused rates to go higher, whatever. We talk business. So again, if you're approaching with the wrong mindset, when you say, I'm uncomfortable making that call, well, that's because if you're calling them with the purpose of selling them, yeah, I get it. But they're your friends. Don't approach them with the thought of you're selling them something. Call to check in. It's your friend. You haven't talked to them in how long. Ask them how they're doing. Just make some conversation. It's a
Yeah,
different, it's the approach in of where your discomfort is coming from. We have to analyze what is your why in your mind. Why are you approaching them? And when somebody says to me, "Well, Hush, you told me to call them to see if they're buying or selling a house," no, we don't begin there. Like I begin in a couple different ways. I start with a wedding list to build out that list so we can identify where those. How do we approach certain people? We approach people in different ways.
right. And you have a relationship with each of those people that's different. There's something unique about each person in your sphere. So it's not the approach is not selling, it's the servant mentality. And Hesh, I would even argue that you could come up with 10 different campaigns of something of value that you have to offer. Brian Buffini calls it the pop buy. So when I physically knock on your door and say, Hesh, I'm here to give you something, that's usually a physical item. Like the one I always think of, and it's the goofy one, but it's an ice cream scoop it has my information on it and it says, hey, if you ever need the scoop on real estate. It's a dumb one, but hey, it's a little gift that I might give. It's the same thing if you're calling or in other ways, texting, reaching out to your sphere. Hey, I have this event coming up. I have this thing you might be interested in. Here's something happening in Solon, and I know you happen to live in Solon. So it's if you have the approach of, hey, I have something for you, like we say, the conversation naturally turns back to us. Any ideas you want to elaborate on that, Hesh?
1,000,000,000%, Mike, because so this is where we go with that. And that's why it's so important that you said that. And I know we have somewhat limited time and I could talk forever on this one. But so I begin with what I call the wedding list. Well, for an agent, I say for anybody, pretend you're going to get married, write down the list of everybody you're inviting to your wedding. Okay. Write down all their names. You're inviting friends and family and people you know. Then identify what they do for a living. Look them up, do some reconnaissance, go to their Facebook page. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see I post a positive thought every single morning. You'll see I post about some different things on the weekends. I hike, I run a lot in the metro parks and stuff like that. If you write down something, if you call me, so we identify like, what does this person like? What are the things that make them tick? If you called me on the phone and started your intro with, hey, Hesh, I saw David Taylor was at the corner of the UFC 250 event. He's the head coach of Oklahoma State. If you said that to me, my guard's not up. I'm gonna start talking to you. I'm gonna talk to you for an hour. Like, so we find common ground and we start having a conversation. And the truth of the matter is, just as kindness in return, I'm gonna ask you how things are going for you, and you start talking about real estate and houses and this, but you're still not even necessarily selling me. You were just reconnecting the relationship and then keeping up with each other. So this is how I start with the list, then I go with my approach. My approach is not one of selling, it's to firm up the relationship or rekindle a relationship, one that I haven't had in 20 years. I drove down my old friend that I went to, Brian Berkey. I drove down his street, Cabrini Lane in Seven Hills the other day, cutting to John Glenn as we were talking on another podcast. I just messaged Brian, hey, I drove down Cabrini Lane. I haven't talked to Brian in over 20 years, but I drove down his old street that we'd skateboard on, and I messaged him on Facebook, hey, brother, I just drove down Cabrini Lane the other day, just letting you know. And he lives in Lorain County. So it's just rekindling old connections. And I didn't do that to him because I want to do a mortgage for him. I did that because we went to
Just to connect.
kindergarten through high school together. He's like a brother. I love the dude.
Absolutely. So, number one, make the list, the wedding list. I love the way you put that. Number two, have a plan, have a schedule of like who you're going to reach out to and when, right?
Identify each individual on the list. What do they do for work? What is their background? Do some reconnaissance. Fill that list out with background information. And then with that information, you will then know what your approach is.
Yeah.
This person
Uh,
just had a child. This person just got married. Hell, this person just got divorced. I've heard some people tell me that was a great day too. So I don't know, you know.
Yeah. And I already hear the objections, because we've had these conversations over and over and over again with agents and you with loan officers and agents. Oh, that feels contrived. That feels like, oh, you're still selling. You're selling under the guise in a disguise. I say no. I say, look, I'm the best option for them. I'm saving them from working with someone else who doesn't have their back, who doesn't have their best interest in mind. Why would I not maintain that relationship and let them work with a stranger? I mean, right?
You're dead on the money. Like, something real estate agents taught me was the term top of mind. I'm calling Pat. I called him today, not to sell him a mortgage. I did his mortgage anywhere. He's got a 10-year loan in the twos. I gave that to him 5 years ago. He's straight and taking today's. But I called him sincerely to check on him again. We've been talking every day. We talked yesterday. He had the defibrillator put in. So no, it's when you're calling a friend in relationships, even if it's not if it's somebody you did a transaction for 2 years ago, aren't you curious just how the house is coming along? Just out of sheer curiosity, call them and just say, hey, I'm just checking in on the house. You don't have to like, it's just the mentality. My goal is to position myself as the expert. My biggest goal is all it truly is to help other people. If people watching me just, if I don't know, if you need something and I've got some way to get it, just call me. I don't have to do a mortgage for you, for goodness sake. I just wake up every day and say, I just got to try to have as many quality conversations as possible, help as many people as I can today, and I'll let the chips fall where they fall.
And to that point, they say that about 72% of people say they would use the same agent again, and only about 12% do. And of course, that's because we do a terrible job keeping in touch. And that 2 year check-in that you mentioned, Hesh, I do this all the time. It's out of curiosity, but it's also out of that servant mentality. Hesh, hey, I know it's been 2 years you've been in that house. I've checked in with you twice a year over the last 2 years. I'm just curious, you have any projects going on? Do you need any contractor recommendations? How's it going? Can I help you? Because here's the thing, Tom Ferry said it at one of the events that Mike Pillow and I were at. It's like, look, we should not have past clients. We only have clients. There's no such thing as they're always your client, and you can always be helping them, even though they're not in the midst of a transaction. So that's part of the servant mentality.
You're dead on the money with what Mike said and what you're saying. It's it's your mindset. Your approach has, don't look, you're not selling. Just try to help them. Like you said, Mike, call them from 2 years ago. Sure, they're not moving for 10 years, whatever it is. But who knows? Maybe they need a repairman or something. We've got a leaky pipe in the building. I need a plumber over here. Now we've got a plumber. He's going to be coming over. But the truth is, you never know what somebody needs and what connections you have that can be a connection for them and they want. So, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
helping people.
And in real estate, and I'm sure in your business as well, it's all about the number of conversations. We can generate a number. We can say if we want to make X number of families helped, sales, however you want to put it, I need to have Y number of conversations. So, Hesh, big picture here. So we've made our list, we've built it out. We approach with the servant mentality. Like, what's next? Like any other high level tips for people who are saying, Mike, I get it. I want to work my sphere, but I don't know how. What do I do next? Any other high level tips?
Step one is we want to build the list. Step one in building the list is what I say with agents, especially, is start with your closed transactions from today and go back in time for as far back as you've got. If you say, Hash, well, I have 20 years of it, start with this is how we build it. We need a centralized location that we have this information that we can quickly access and look at. We start there. If you say, I have an agent in the Youngstown area right now, she said, Hesh, I've only done real estate for like 3 years. I've only sold a few transactions. I don't have even 20 people. I said, that's fine. Everyone always thinks that, like, because they don't have 1,000 connections, well, I can't even do this. So they don't even start. Number one, start with your closed transactions. If it's only three, fine, that's three there. Number two, go to Facebook, your friends connection. When you make a post, who comments on your post? Who comments consistently on your post, put their name on the list. I can build up a list of 20, 30, 40 people for any human being watching me right now, and you will be surprised. I can get to 50 people that you will say, wow, I didn't realize I actually know those 50 people. Then from there, Mike, I identify what do they do for a living. Some of those people are divorce attorneys. A divorce attorney can be a great referral source. And it's not that you're selling the divorce attorney on their divorce clients. You are an asset to them. You are something they need. They need a professional in their corner when someone's getting a divorce to advise that person, hey, you guys have to sell your house. Talk to this person here. Some of those people are financial planners. Some of them have nothing to do with nothing, but that's okay because they might know somebody. Who knows? Somebody's dad might be a divorce attorney or a referral source. So we identify their positions and jobs, and then we come up with a cadence, a call schedule of reaching out and contacting, whether it's once a day, contact one person a day. I always start everything slow and small. Let's just do one dial a day to one person on our list and start slow. Before you know it, you'll be rolling a lot faster than you think.
Yeah, no, I love all that. And the whole idea of the schedule, well, that feels contrived. Here's the problem with not having the schedule is that if you don't have it on the schedule, it doesn't get done. So it has to be organized.
Mike, you're perfect. You're right. If it's not written down, it doesn't exist. And what you end up learning about successful people as they is that they do the same thing over and over on a consistent basis. That is the God's honest truth. If you tell me you don't have a schedule and nothing's scheduled, I'm sorry, that's a mess. But we can start with the schedule. We can start with the okay from 8 to 8:30 every morning. Let's do one dial. I'm not the guy, Mike, that says let's start. I've got an agent in Seattle, Washington that I work with on this stuff that I say, like, not like, I'm not the guy that says, okay, let's start 50 calls a day. Get out of town. Let's do one dial this week and call it a day. And let's do for the month of July, let's start with one dial once a week. In August, let's do two dials a week. In September, let's do three dials a week. This is a marathon. This is a long play. This is a career that we're building something up with. We're not doing this like pound out 1,000 dials a day. Like that's the fastest way to quit.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll burn out your LOs, dialing that hard. Certainly, leads can be one of the pillars of a business. And so, to refer back to the beginning of the show where I said the one thing no one told me was work your sphere, I started out going down the road that you talked about. I thought, well, I can't just call people I know. Surely I have to buy leads. And so I started out buying leads. And yes, that can be one pillar of your business, but I think that the sphere is so overlooked, and a lot of it is right here. It's the agent, the LO saying, "Oh, I can't keep bugging the people that I know," but it's because you're taking the wrong approach. So I don't want to steal too much from the other show that we did, But, talking about keeping things simple and just doing the same things over and over again, I also told my wife the story about your coach and your friend saying, "Oh, he must be teaching you all these different moves." And your answer was what?
He only had three moves. And what my wrestling coach in college won six world titles, two Olympic gold medals. He's the most decorated wrestler in U.S. history internationally. I was his training partner for the 1992 Olympics, and that's when I was 18 years old. I was a freshman in college, and I thought he hit 1,000 different moves. And what he ended up doing was he only had three moves. That was it. And what he did was the same thing that my coach in seventh grade at Hillside Junior High, Coach Flory, taught us. But when I was in seventh grade and Coach Flory said, "You guys only have to know a couple moves," we were like, "He's crazy, the old man." And then I got to college and learned from the greatest in the world that no, Coach Flory was right what he told you. Keep it basic, keep it simple, but master it. And
Yep.
that's where the other pillar comes in, Mike, is position yourself as the expert. Right now, a big question in real estate is it a good time to buy a house? Home prices are so inflated. Should I wait? Study research. That way, when you call them, if one of them were to ask you that question, which they probably will, you can give an intelligent, articulate answer and you position yourself as the expert so that when they need it, you're the person they're coming to. You're their go to person.
Yeah. The other thing about real estate, whatever approach you're taking it from, whether it's mortgage or sales or whatever, is that we're in a business that people love to talk about. There's TV shows dedicated to it. I can't help but to bump into someone and what do they ask me? How's the market? And that's a conversation waiting to happen.
And Mike, you're exactly right. And those are think of those when you call your friend and you're like, I feel like I'm selling them something. When you call them just to conversate, I'm not kidding you. The great thing about being in real estate is every human needs a house or they need a roof over their head, is what I should say. They're going to ask you, the questions come, and if they don't come, that's okay. But you're not going in there with a mentality that you're selling them.
Nope. In fact, just the opposite. It's just having a conversation and maintaining that sphere, building it from 20 to 50 to 100.
And it starts with one. And that's my thing is what I go over people, Mike, is that first step of like getting over that hump of I feel like awkward making the call. We psychoanalyze you to make sure your head is on straight with it. We're doing this for the right reason. And then when you do one, you start realizing, wow, that wasn't so bad. I'm not kidding you, Mike. Then when you start getting to two, three, four, five dials, you're like, man, this isn't so bad. And we'll wash that right off in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Sphere is that those people are answering the phone or they're at least calling you back. If you guys say, "Oh no, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the lead route." Those people are they're not expecting your call in many cases. They're hanging up on you. They don't know who you are. You're a stranger. And so why wouldn't you start with the lowest hanging fruit, the people that already know you, like you, and trust you? So Hesh, we're about out of time, but that was amazing. Do you want to put a bow on it here? Any final thought?
I appreciate the gold is in the niches, man. It's in your sphere. That's where your money's at. Focus on it. It's a lot easier than you think, and don't be afraid to take that jump
Yeah.
into doing that.
Why dig to the bottom of the mountain when there's some right at the top? Yeah.
And we work so hard to get new business. We don't have to. Our current business sitting right in front of us.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much for this. We got to do it again. There's so many topics we could hit. One more time, lay your contact information on us. And yes, he's giving you his cell phone, guys. He's literally willing to help you. I mean, Hesh has helped me so much over the almost 20 years I've been in the business. He's talking about coaching an agent from Seattle. I mean, the dude takes the time to actually help people. Not because he's like, well, how can I get more business? He's actually out there helping people because he loves it, like I do, and the business follows, right?
I appreciate Mike. Yeah, 1,000%. I could be called. I could help you build your list. I'm not going to sell you some sort of DVD set with it or something. I just try to help. It doesn't matter if you're even not in real estate. You could be a landscaper. I'll help you build that too. That's what I do. So 216-780-1103 is my cell. But you call anytime. I appreciate it, Mike. I appreciate the opportunity.
By the way, I would buy that DVD set.
I don't think they use them anymore, right? It's all on YouTube now or something like that.
All right, guys, hit me up, 21mike.com, click that button. Oh, Hesh, CE classes, real estate agents. If we want to see your upcoming CE list, where do we find that?
OhioCE.net.
Ohio.
OhioCE.net.
Got it. Yep. And of course, you guys know I do CEs. Why do I do it? Hesh inspired me. He made me realize that it's a great way to give back, first of all, and it's also a great way to have conversations.
I appreciate it, Mike. Everything you said is down the money, and I try to keep up with you.
Thank you.